Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Tone Talk with Mark Uzansky and Dave Friedman. Our guest tonight, amazing guest. We've got Michael Lockwood, who has worked with Aimee Mann, Fiona Apple, Carly Simon, among others. He's a musician, arranger, producer, guitarist. The great Michael Lockwood. How are you?
Good, thank you very much. How are you guys doing? Who wrote the theme song at the top?
I did.
That was him.
I love it. I love
Oh,
it.
yeah, thanks.
I was like, okay, here we go.
There we go. Short
Awesome,
and sweet.
yeah.
And it just boom, boom,
Kicks
boom.
right in,
Logo comes up, and there you go.
Yeah.
It's all good.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That made my night. I love it. Cool. So you
He
guys
knows how
know
to
each other.
suck up to the right people.
Exactly. I'll pay you later, Michael.
Okay.
So you guys go way back? Know each other for a long time?
We know each
Pretty
other
long.
quite well, right? Yeah. I was trying to figure it out the other day. I mean, I'm gonna take a good stab at early 90s, but I don't know how early.
Yeah.
Because
Might
you
have
were
been mid 90s. So maybe 95-ish, I
Okay.
want to say.
okay. When did you? Because you had a little hut. I'm gonna
Next
call it,
door.
in Browers, right? Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Oh, that's where you guys met.
Yeah.
At Browers.
But that was years after I was at the store making music, and I had then branched out on my own, and then eventually I came back to that place and was there again. So that's why I was thinking about this the other day. It had to be mid 90s.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's a little bit of for me. 89.
Susanna Hoffs.
Oh, okay.
That's when it would have been, when you were
Really?
playing with
Susanna
her
Hoffs.
at Leeds.
That's right. But I remember you putting together a pedal board for me, and you made me a couple pedals, and I gave them random names because they were just in gray casings. And I remember using a bunch of that with Aimee Mann. So I played with Aimee before I did Susanna. So I bet I met you just a hair before that.
Wow. Okay. Maybe. Yeah, that's where it gets a little foggy.
Yeah.
I remember working on Selmer amps.
Yes, you worked on a lot of Selmers, probably an AC30, a lot of broken English amps. That's right. But yeah, I've known you
That's
quite a
cool.
while. A lot of
90s.
different projects. Yep.
That was like a million years ago.
For me, it was 1.5 million years ago. For you, it's 1 million years.
And you've always lived in LA, Michael?
I mostly have lived in. I was born in LA. I was born in Hawthorne. I grew up in Inglewood, and then my parents had the bright idea that moving out of LA was probably healthier for me, and they moved to Bakersfield. I don't know how healthy that move really was, to be honest with you, because there's not a lot to do there but get in trouble, right?
Yeah, true.
Great music scene, a great country music scene, but when you're a kid and you want a Marshall and a Les Paul and want to mimic Mick Ronson, that probably wasn't the right move, was to go to Bakersfield. So I went to high school through Bakersfield and came back. I've been in LA almost my entire life. I lived in England for a few years, and I lived in Nashville for a couple of years, but it's hard to get away.
Yeah, hard to escape. I love LA. So
Are you from here?
no, I don't live in LA. I'm actually in Florida. So I live in
Florida right now?
yeah, I live in South Florida. Yeah.
All right. Nice.
Yeah. But do I love it? No.
The weather's a bit, for me, it's a bit much in Florida.
Yeah, it's too humid.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a little locked here, but we'll see what happens in a few years. So speaking of Aimee Mann, she just performed with Rush.
I know.
I know. I
Right.
saw it last night.
You
She did
that's
it
right.
again?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
she's
saw
doing
it
it. She's
last
doing
night.
all the LA shows. That's right.
Yeah. It was great.
That's awesome.
I'm getting so many calls. It's funny. I'm not on social media a lot, but every few days I get stuck in the morning. I'm having coffee and I start flipping through. When she performed the first night with Rush, my whole feed was her and Rush. Everything that came up, it was either something about a new Alex Lifeson guitar or a Geddy Lee Moog synthesizer or Aimee performing at the, and it just went on forever and ever and ever. We rehearsed the other day and she said it's the best gig she's ever done. Hands down, it's her favorite gig. So she said that those guys are lovely. The show's amazing. And she said she's never seen fans that bananas before.
Oh, it's true. The fans were crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Anika just does, one drum fill and everyone goes fucking apeshit in the crowd, and she was amazing.
She is amazing.
She was really amazing, actually.
I can imagine. I've seen footage.
I knew it was going to be good, but it was better than I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
I mean, I was like, wow, she's a beast.
Yeah.
She hits those drums hard.
She was a beast, but such precision and time, and just that's big shoes to fill.
You just took the words out of my mouth.
Man.
Those are shoes I would never want to fill as a musician. It's like, no, thank you.
Yeah, no way, man. That's like, the guitar players in the past that have come in for people that have died that were some, epic, whatever, you come in after Randy Rhoads or something. And it was like,
right.
Everyone hates you because you're the new guy.
Yeah. Like
that wasn't the case with her. everyone loved her.
This is great. It's it's so nice.
I think, it was cool. It was really cool.
I think, I mean, as a Rush fan, I think there would have been if they had picked a guy, there would have been just so many, for whatever reason, the smartest move was going with a woman and someone who could really pull it off also. I don't know. I just think like any of the obvious choices that are out there, like Mike Mangini or I'm drawing a blank on some of these other drummers that could have pulled it off. Portnoy, Simon Phillips could have done it.
That's true. Yeah.
But any case, I think people would have been like, oh, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. But for whatever reason, they're just, everybody's really accepting her with open arms. Even myself, I'm a huge Rush fan. And I think it's great.
She brought it.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's amazing.
And she has a lot of charisma and she has a lot of personality. And those two, Geddy and Alex, both have big personalities, right? So she is a bright, shining light and all of that. It's true. Her coming into it seemed like everybody championed that from the get-go.
Yeah.
I never heard a whisper of somebody saying, I don't know. But what an amazing—
I've heard a couple. I have a couple friends who are like, I would have liked it. I'm like, come on. I think she's amazing.
I'm super stoked about it for her.
Yeah, no,
absolutely.
It was a great show.
I'm surprised you went to Rush. That looks like a surprising show for me to hear you go to.
Why?
I mean, you've never talked about Rush ever in the 9 years of.
I'm not that huge of a Rush fan. I went to Rush when I was a kid. I saw Rush in 1984 or something.
Awesome. I didn't know that.
Oh, you were 4 years old then?
No, I was older than 4.
Like 14.
14 or something, 15, something like that. I'm not like a diehard fan, but I for sure, a lot of the stuff I really like.
Yeah. Well,
what did your missus think?
Okay, so she's not a Rush fan at all,
right? Okay,
although she knew some songs, obviously from radio and things, and the famous songs. And she said she was pleasantly surprised and thought it was much better than she thought it was going to be. She basically liked it. Was enjoyable. So
good.
The visuals are incredible. What's done on the video screens are just simply like, next gen, the video screens look so real. It's almost like it's 3-dimensional and you're fucking right there. It's like,
Wow.
it's crazy.
I'm dumb that I didn't go. That's what I'm going to say.
Do they have more shows?
Still got a chance. There's one more show.
I know. When's the next show? Tomorrow? It's every other night, I think,
yeah,
right?
It's tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's tomorrow.
Yeah.
You can buy yourself a ticket. There's tickets that aren't that expensive on the used market,
Really? Because we looked and it looked like nosebleeds were still quite expensive. So
yeah, you might want to look. I don't know.
But I'd have to leave the house if I went to go see Rush, though.
You have to leave the house?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Then I'll have
That's
to
quite
drive.
a long ways for you.
I live far away from everything. It's true.
Yeah. Oh, do you?
Yeah. I lived in the heart of it for a long, long time. So it's nice to, I think that as you get older and you have kids, you're like, okay, yeah, we're not going to live in the heart of Hollywood anymore. No, that's enough. Right.
You were in Silver Lake years ago, weren't you?
Yeah, for a long time.
Yeah.
God, late 80s throughout most of the 90s. Yeah, a long time. And then I lived in Atwater for a while, and I loved the East Side, but
I like it over there.
It's fun. There's amazing, great boutique shops, great restaurants, right? We talked about the great restaurants. So it's a trek for me to get out that way. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to make that trek. I told my wife that we're going out to dinner, you and I and your wife. So
yeah, that'd be fun.
We'll make it. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So you were talking about Aimee at the Rush show. What record is that song from? Because I was talking to a friend today and he didn't know off the top of his head, nor did I. Do you know? You're the Rush. Come on, Mark.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, good question. That was God. Now I'm totally drawing a blank. Hold Your Fire album.
Maybe? I think that's right.
Yeah, that might be it.
Was what song was Time Stand Still or
Time Stand Still?
Yeah.
I think it's on the Hold Your Fire album.
And
she sounded great.
I love that.
Yeah,
we rehearsed the other day, and she was singing so good, and her bass playing slays me. So
yeah, and it was like she's playing to this audience that's massive. Just it was packed to the gills. Everywhere you saw the seat was filled. Right to the brim of the arena. It was cool.
Great.
Yep, I was right. Hold Your Fire. Cool. I am a proud Rush fan, and that I got that right. But yeah, no, that's a great song, and she's great. I mean, I've been following her obviously since I was a kid. How'd you end up working with her? How'd that work?
That was a good one. In the 80s, I was in a local LA band called Lions and Ghosts, and we were in the middle of sort of the signing frenzy that happened sort of mid 80s with all the hair bands and the glam scene and stuff. So I had that had run its course for me, and I started another little band. I was really lost. I had no idea what I really wanted to do. I did realize that what I was best at in a band was sort of supporting someone, right? I was good at being the person that organized and made things work and tried to solve any problems that would come up. So as time went by, I became more and more open to the idea of working with somebody that has a real career, goes on real tours, rehearses for the proper amount of time for shows to happen, and just move to a different professional level. And as that all was said, a friend of mine, Jason Faulkner, who was in Jellyfish at the time, was always talking about, you should go do this, you should go do that. And at that time, I was working in a vintage guitar store on Sunset Boulevard called Guitars R Us. And Jason came up to me and he goes, hey, I was talking to my friend, John Bryan, and he works with Aimee Mann, but he doesn't want to go on the road anymore. You would be a great person to go fill those shoes. And I was like, well, I know who she is. I knew her first record, and I knew the sensibilities that it had. You know, it had all kinds of great British influence and had little Beatle twists and great songwriting, great lyrics. So Jason took me to see her play at the Roxy. And I think John played with her. I know that the guitar player from XTC was on stage with her. His name's Dave Gregory. Anyways, a great show. And I told Jason, I said, yeah, I'm totally interested. I don't even know what that means to do whatever it is that you guys want me to do. And so one day, Aimee, Jack Joseph Puig, and John Bryan came into the guitar store, and they kidnapped me for like 30 minutes. We walked up and down Sunset Boulevard and just talked about music. And then Aimee invited me to the studio that night because she was working on I'm With Stupid. And we hung out, and I ended up playing on a track, and we just sat and talked till like 1 or 2 in the morning. I didn't audition, I don't think. Maybe that was my audition, but I just know that at some point it was like, okay, we're going to start rehearsals. So that happened in the, probably maybe 94-ish, 95-ish. I'll have to Google it and look, but that's how I met her. And I just ended up hanging in there, and it just evolved into so many different things. For a while it was touring, and then some TV shows, more touring. And then, eventually we were in the studio together, and at one point we wrote a song together, and I ended up producing a record for her. So it blossomed into one of my favorite gigs ever. Super easy to work with, and she just lets people off the leash and lets them be them and bring whatever their best game is to her thing. That's what it felt like to me. So it was fantastic gig. And then that started, the beginning of what became what I really like to do, which is to support somebody and be their right-hand man, just make things work for them and deal with trying to put the right musicians together and sort of micromanage all that minutia.
That's great.
So you're the psychologist.
No, you need a psychologist after working that kind of job, I think.
Yes, maybe. For sure.
So how did you go from musician to producer? How did that work? I'm curious.
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know. I've thought about this because I just did it without really knowing what the fuck I was doing. But I, like you guys, grew up listening to all kinds of great music, and I would devour a record. And, not only did I want to figure out how to play that riff, that lick, that chord change, I also was super interested in why things sounded the way they did. What brought excitement to things? Was it the live mics in the room that sort of enhanced the guitar sound, that made it a little, I always was into that. I was always into, I call it the stereo landscape. In my mind, I listen to something and I just sort of look at like, okay, why did they place this there and that there? And I was like that from a young age. So, growing up listening to the Beatles or ELO or a lot of, or the Stones and how they put their stuff together, I always was really fascinated by that and always wanted to figure out how to do it. And I think that over time and spending time in the studio playing guitar with bands and then making demos with other bands, and you learn a lot. I could have learned a lot more. In retrospect, I'm mad that I didn't pay more attention in my early years of like what the engineer was doing. I didn't really until I'm going to say about 16 years ago when I started recording at home is when I actually learned how to turn the knob in the direction that I was trying to tell someone else to do years before that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So with Aimee, we spent a lot of time working on songs for the film Magnolia, and we were recording an album that later became Bachelor #2. And we recorded in strange little spurts. We'd go to Mad Dog in North Hollywood. It's not there anymore, is it, Dave? Mad Dog?
I have no idea. And I have no idea what happened to it. I'm not sure if it's there or not.
I loved that studio. It was great. Didn't it belong to the guitar player for Dwight Yoakam? I'm spacing on.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember, but I remember that studio. Sure.
I love that studio. So we spent a lot of time at that studio recording, and there was a place not far from your shop, Dave, that we recorded with. It was funny. There wasn't really a producer on those sessions in the beginning. It was just that she just brought her band in, and she would play a song on acoustic or whatever, and we talk about it. And I think that because we'd all played with her for a bit, we kind of knew what the vibe was about how things were interwoven with each other and how you would quote pieces of the melody with everything. So maybe that's the beginning of figuring out how the hell you produce a record is you really get in tune with the songs. And luckily we were all really in tune with her about what she loved. Right. So I remember the early sessions, there were great engineers. Aimee was, if she wasn't actually singing or playing, and then she was talking to the control room. But if, say, the keyboard player went out and someone else in the band had suggestions, we all just communicated all the time. Like, wouldn't it be great if you answered that guitar line? Or wouldn't that be great if you played tambourine on that one section? So that's how a lot of those early recordings were done with us. And then at some point, Brendan Benson, I'm losing my mind for sure. Brendan O'Brien came in and he produced a track that Aimee and I wrote, and that was in Magnolia. It was called Driving Sideways. So Brendan came in, and that was the first time I remember a producer was there, and he had a real style of production that blew my mind. Simple, easy, calm, really raw. And what I love is that we cut everything live. And if you felt like you needed to redo something, he was like game for it. But mostly it was cut really live. And then we'd come in, we'd listen, we got the best take. Great. Okay, good. He goes, so we need to do this, this, and this, right? Really simple. It wasn't like we need to do these 10,000 other things. And at some point, he's piddling around with the mix a little bit. And Michael Penn and I were sitting in the studio, and all three of us played slide guitar, and all three of us loved to play slide guitar. And Brendan said, who here is the fastest at laying down a slide solo? And he raised his hand. And Michael and I walked out of the room. We were like, okay, you go. And I mean, he did like 2 passes. His intonation was perfect. It was really cool and raw sounding, and then he said, okay, let's fucking mix this. And 30 minutes later, his mix was done. And I'm so not used to that. I'm so used to like laboring, going back, thinking about it. Let's do some more overdubs. And then eventually you ship it off to someone else and say, go with God and please make the mix sound fantastic, right? But he just did it all in a day. In fact, we did that song with him that day, and then we did another song without him, but we did 2 tracks that day. But that was the learning experience of how to produce, is watching those kinds of things. And then we finished that record. She had great success. The movie Magnolia was really big. We played the Oscars. We played all kinds of great shows, and it was a really good year. And she got busy super quick right after, and we started recording in this guy's tiny studio. Ryan Freeland had a studio in his apartment in West LA. And after I did 2 or 3 sessions with her, she said, do you want to produce this? So, I mean, that was it. It was pretty simple, but I mean, I've learned so much through those processes, and now, obviously, how crazy recording is now at home. It's just, you can do things you never could have done back then,
Yeah, the options are endless.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've worked with Brendan before. I understand how fast he does stuff.
he's so fast.
He doesn't want to be. It's like he just wants to get it done, and he'll get it done, and he'll get great results, and it'll sound great because it sounds real. It sounds
It
real.
sounds real. And do
Raw.
you know? Do you remember the feeling of when you're working with a band or even a singer-songwriter, whatever it is, and the first few times when the genesis of all that comes together? Do you remember the excitement in that? I think that's what Brendan does, is that he captures which is lightning in a bottle for some things. Something hasn't been played to death or rehearsed for 2 months and going into the studio. He catches stuff. Is it perfect? No, but does it have personality? Yeah, it's got lots of personality.
Yeah, and that's the key. That's the key. It's often
so great. I have an interesting Brendan O'Brien story, if I can.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
When I worked at the guitar shop on Sunset, I met damn near every musician and every producer probably on the planet in the couple years that I worked there. And Brendan used to come in a lot because he's a gear hound. He's a guitar head, right? He has all kinds of super cool stuff. So he used to come in and he'd hang out and he'd talk and he'd play and he'd talk. And I'm pretty sure that it was right after the Black Crowes' first record. And he engineered, right? Did George Drakoulias work on that too? Probably.
I don't remember.
I can't remember anyway. So I just remember loving the sound of that record. It was really great to have the Faces and the Stones back with us, right? It was it was amazing. And I remember one day there was this guy that worked next door to me, and he was in a band, and I think that their name was called Mighty Joe Young, and he was the bass player. And he worked, I think it was Schecter or one of those stores next to me. Anyway, he was talking about his band, and they were playing the Teaser, and they're playing all kinds of places. And he said, and at one point he was telling me, he goes, "Listen, like we're getting signed. We're going to make a record." I was like, "Oh my God, that's amazing, dude. I'm so happy for you. Like, it's the dream, right? You're working the guitar shop." And so he said, "And you're really into producers and production and stuff. Like, who should we get to produce us?" And I said, "Dude, there's this guy named Brendan O'Brien. He's an amazing engineer and he's an amazing musician. You guys should talk to him." So they did. And he produced most of their records. And that was Stone Temple Pilots.
Mighty Joe Young.
Yeah.
So, and I remember.
Oh, wait, who was that? Was that Robert?
It was Rob. Yeah.
Robert.
He worked.
I've also had a long history with those guys.
Yeah. Amazing people. I love them.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I think recently Rob had said that on some podcast he was on or something, and it reminded me of it. It also reminded me that about a year later, I think I had left and I was starting to tour. And when I wasn't on tour, I'd go back to the guitar store and work. And one day, Albert called me, the guy that owns the shop, and he said, "Hey, Brendan just called me. He told me you need to pick out any guitar in the shop as a thank you." And he said, "But within reason." I said, "Oh, you mean no 59 burst? Okay, yeah, I get it." And there was a guitar there that I loved. It was a mid-60s Epiphone Sheraton, which at the time, those were my favorite guitars. Anyway, I got that guitar because it was a gift from Brendan as a thank you. So
that was
amazing guy. Yeah.
What year?
Happens. The red one was a 66, and I had a 65 Sunburst one. Those were my two main guitars for Aimee, for Fiona Apple. Like most of the 90s were those two guitars. That's why.
Yeah, I remember you having the Epiphones. Yeah.
Nice.
So
yeah.
She's back with us. Going back up. I told Dave, I'm trying to recreate my 90s pedal board, my 90s guitar to go out, because I'm going to go out with Aimee the middle of July. We're going to do like a really short Midwest tour, and she's playing on a festival, and we're doing some theater and stuff. So I haven't played with her since the early 2000s. So I'm just recreating.
Oh, wow.
I'm recreating my rig to mirror that. It's kind of fun.
That is cool. Those are great guitars.
Oh, so good. Unsung heroes. Thank
I was going
good.
to say undervalued. Of course, the
Well,
tie to John Lennon.
yeah, the Beatles Epiphone thing was great. Luckily, none of the Beatles played that model, so I'm lucky. It was just some country western hillbilly jazz guys that did. So.
True. What about Fiona Apple? Oh, you know what? Before we go to Fiona Apple, Salt and Pepper. I have to ask about that.
Yeah,
I don't know anything about this.
Yeah, you can ask, and I don't know anything about it either. I've always tried to figure out. I mean, it is entirely possible that because sometimes I'd show up to a session because the A&R guy that had signed my band in the 80s, he used to call me and ask me to do like sessions, or he'd say, the guitar player from the English Beat is gone and they need a guitar player. Are you interested in that gig? Like, he came up with all kinds of cool random ideas for me. So I do remember doing weird sessions, or I remember going in and working with these hip hop guys and they just wanted me to come up with riffs and licks. It could be one of that. I don't know. I never met them, but I know I'm credited with that. I'll take it.
Hey, why not?
I love that. I have
Maybe
no idea.
They could have sampled. They could have sampled something. Maybe
it's possible.
Yeah, that's interesting. But Fiona Apple, and I certainly would like to talk about Carly Simon, Susanna Hoffs, all of them. They're all great artists.
So great.
Let's start, yeah. Sorry.
I was going to say, how fortunate and lucky was I, because I didn't really go searching for it, but it all started filtering down. And so I had this amazing run playing with all kinds of really incredible singer-songwriters. All female vibe was amazing. I did so many strange, fun things. I did a Winnebago tour with Carly Simon. I mean, that is,
wow.
It was all radio shows. Her and I and her husband driving the Winnebago.
When was this?
This was in the 90s. I don't remember what part. It had to have been later in the 90s when I met her, because Dave knows this. I was working with this kid, Ben Taylor, who is James Taylor's son and Carly's son. And that came to me because of Fiona. So we can double back through. But Fiona was on the work group, which is a Sony label. And the A&R guy there and the president I'd gotten to know from working with Fiona for a few years. And they signed this kid, Ben Taylor, and he had a demo of like 4 songs. He had no band. And we were introduced, we started hanging out, we started writing, we started making demos. And I ended up making a record with him in England that's so sad. It never came out. You have it. That's right. So
you gave me a copy.
You and about 10 other people have it, and it was such he has his father's voice, and he has the lyric writing of both his parents. Like, he's an uber talented individual, and that another artist who just gave myself and the drummer Larry Chauncey free reign, and Larry came from the Fiona camp as well. So we moved to Sheffield for 6 months and made this record. And we spent all day trying to make shit sound so fucked up and make every guitar track sound like a keyboard, not a guitar. It was our mission in life. Right. And
it was cool. It was cool, but the textures and stuff you did on that record, and randomatic pedal, and it just had a cool thing to it.
It was the two producers were, thank you so much. I loved making that record. To this day, I'm still trying to figure out, how do we get that record out? Because Epic bought everything from the work group, so they must own the masters. And God, I would love to put that. I have a tiny label. I'd love to put that out for him.
Why didn't it come out? What was the reason?
Well, I think what happened was at that time period, it was a funny thing with the record companies. There was a lot of shuffling going. There was a lot of downsizing going on. And for whatever reason, the work group got swallowed up by Epic. It was all in the Sony family. And so the guy that ran that, Jeff, I can't remember his name right now. All those guys just ended up going somewhere else. So I think what happened is Ben got moved over to Epic. He had a different label head. He had a different A&R person, and they didn't share the excitement that we had for that record. The songs were really great. It was very much of that time. If you listen to the rhythms and you listen to the production, because it has a little bit of trip hop in it, and it's very English. Kevin Bacon, not the actor, Jonathan Quarmby were the two English producers, and they'd done Finley Quay, and they did some Bowie stuff, and they're the ones that spearheaded that. But man, it was a free for all every day in the studio. It's like, okay, how can we fuck shit up today? Let's really destroy this. And it was a fun process every day. But I got onto that because you asked about Fiona Apple, and that's how I had morphed into that. And I think that the reason that the Fiona Apple thing happened was because of Andy Slater, who at that time was Fiona's manager and producer. And I don't think he wasn't at Capitol yet. He later went to run Capitol. But I'd met Andy years before that. He's like a great champion of musicians. I've gotten so many amazing jobs and gigs through Andy. And he was in the studio, and they were working on early versions of some of Fiona's first songs from her first record. And my friend Patrick Warren, who I'd played with Aimee and almost every project I did, he was in the studio working on this with, I think it was him and Matt Chamberlain. John Bryan might have been in then. I think he was. Patrick and I met up at the Virgin Megastore in Hollywood. Rest its soul. It's gone. It was so great. And he goes, "Oh, I want to play you something." And, he puts in a CD, and he plays me Shadowboxer, and he played me one other song that they were working on. They were like roughs. I'm like, dude, I want that gig. I don't care that there's no guitar on it whatsoever. I want to do that. The music was so great. So I don't know. At some point, she finished that record. She went on the road and did a tour. And then Andy called me and he said, "Do you want to come out and play guitar for her?" I'm like, yes, please. So, and luckily at that time, it was so great because I'd worked with Aimee for a while, and then she'd take a break. And during that break, then I sort of went in and started working with Fiona. And then when Fiona was done, I could either go back to Aimee, or then I worked with Susanna. That whole time period, I was so lucky because almost never did things cross over. So
perfect timing.
I went out with her, and I can't remember that first tour. It might have been Chris Isaak, or maybe I came in right after Chris Isaak, but she opened for a lot of people. And then her record started taking off really fast, super exciting to watch. And the buzz was crazy. MTV people were crazy about it. They went nuts over the song Criminal. And of course they went nuts over that video, which looked like a Calvin Klein commercial of that era, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Young, beautiful people. Yeah. So, that gig went on for quite a while. We had amazing times together. And I can't even remember how old Fee was. She's 18 or 19. She's so young.
She was a baby then.
Yeah.
Wow.
And she's continued.
How was she to work with? I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, amazing to work with. We were all on one bus. The vibe was super great. Do I think that it was overwhelming sometimes for her? Yeah. That was a lot to ask anybody to do. I think it was even overwhelming for a lot of the guys in the band, and they'd all played with other people and done big big gigs and had done TV shows. So that was, you know, I hope I was a good big brother and through that, and I hope everybody really supported her. It seemed like everyone did because everybody wanted her to win and to succeed. And she did so well. I mean, we played the Grammys, we played every television show here in England, everywhere. So incredible artist, great writer. She continues to make just incredible records, and she's working with Blake Mills for a long time. She might still be. She has a great ear for picking people that work within her sound, So another great gig. Very fortunate. Thank you.
That's awesome. And of course, Susanna Hoffs, because I mean, who didn't have a crush on her? At least I did when I was when I was a kid. Yeah, I mean,
Dave, are you raising your hand, Dave?
Okay.
Oh my God, what's wrong with you?
Okay.
She was so hot back then.
And before
she still is, but
she's beautiful. Yeah, she looks
beautiful.
Amazing. I saw that I think she recently played Largo, so she's out and about. I talked to her not that long ago. I'm producing some songs for this group called Bird Streets, and one of the songs we have kind of the whole track and the lead vocal, but I thought when I heard it that Susanna would be an amazing duet on this song, because it wasn't right, and she wouldn't be the person you'd think of to do the song. And the song really, I mean, on the quick overview of the song is about addiction and the dark side of drugs and relationships and all these things. And it's written by a guy that has survived all of that. And the song is a conversation between him and his partner in crime at that time. So I really wanted to make it sound like a conversation between two people. And I thought, it is so not Susanna that it makes so much sense to me. On one hand, her voice would really, really resonate well with his, but the other is because she's so together and so not that person. I thought it'd be really interesting to have her perspective be the person that received his bad behavior as an addict and as a boyfriend at that time. So I sent it to her. I wrote her, and she we were just going back and forth. And so I need to get on the stick and start following through with all these brilliant ideas.
Yeah, for sure.
But I met Susanna. I met her through her manager. His name was Tim Ansel, I believe. He was probably out of company, and I can't remember what that company was, but I think that he had seen me either on the Lilith Fair with Fiona, and he loved what I did with her. And then I think he was also an Aimee Mann fan. So I can't remember what she was in. She might have been in the middle of her first solo record is when that was. And he asked me if I'd be interested in working with her, and don't think she had a band. And we met, I think I went over her house and met her. And that time, it was her new husband, Jay Roach, who now we know is the guy that did he's an amazing director. He did all the Austin Power movies and the Fokker movies. But he was a documentarian when I met him, and they were newly married. So she was making this record. She had not a newborn, but like a toddler, and she was going to bring the toddler with her, and it was going to be just her and I. And I think the original idea was it was going to be a promo tour for her record, which hadn't come out yet. It was on Polydor. And I think a lot of it all started overseas. We were in Japan, we went to China, we went to Europe several times. And it was mostly just Susanna and I, acoustic guitars. And we would play like 2 or 3 songs from her new record. We would play Eternal Flame, and we played another Bangles song that I can't remember off the top of my head. And so we did that for like a year, just the two of us going all over Europe. And at some point, her mom came out to help with her child. And, it was an interesting, kind of like a 60s hippie kind of way to go out and promote and tour, play music. But it was incredible. The two of us, we played on a boat on the River Thames. We played all kinds of great, strange TV shows everywhere. The Japanese TV shows were amazing. We love Japan. We know Dave loves Japan. He just got back.
Yeah.
We did a lot of work there. It was fantastic. And then I was in the studio with her for one track. It was a bonus track for that record. It was called To Sir With Love, and Jack Joseph Puig was the producer on that. And I think John played on it and Jason played on it. It's good stuff. And then I think as that, we did a small tour with a small band after that. Well, maybe not small. And that was great. It was Dan McCarroll on drums. If you know Dan, he played with Lloyd Cole and the Commotions and played in the Grays, and he's played with a lot of people. He's a great drummer. But it was a really great band. And we did, I think the band was just the States. So we did that for a while. And then when that came to its end of run, it'd been quite a while. And I think I moved back over either to Aimee or to Fiona, or at some point the Carly thing came into play. And I met Carly because I went to Martha's Vineyard to write with her son, Ben, while we were doing that. That project went on for quite a while. We wrote songs. We produced a couple things in LA, and we did some demos, but we went and stayed at his house. He had his own little place on her property in Martha's Vineyard. And at that time she was doing that record, The Bedroom Tapes, and she was recording in her barn. So we did Teenagers. That sounded joyous.
Yes. That's
and
great.
It's not still going, so we're okay.
Yeah.
Okay, no one died. It's really good.
And it's almost dinner time. There's 3 dogs. It's got to be chaos down there right now. Carly that's how I met her, through Ben, and so thankful for her. She gave me an amazing musical life lesson. Amazing soul. So her day consisted of, there was a long breakfast with a lot of conversation about what the day was going to look like. Maybe there was going to be a trip to the bookstore. Maybe we're going to drive around the island. And then there might have been some rehearsal or jamming or whatever in the middle of the afternoon. And then there was a poetry reading every day. So she would gather whoever was there, and it could have been her sisters, it could have been her husband, her daughter Sally or son Ben, plus any of their friends, and she would have everybody sit on the gazebo and read poetry. So I loved poetry growing up, but it wasn't very popular in Bakersfield. Okay, I'm just going to go out.
Yeah, I can understand.
Okay. And later in the 80s, I discovered all these French poets and stuff. But anyway, don't hold any of that against me. So we would read poetry, and then there'd be more music. It was really this complete artistic vibe of everything centered around creating. And, then maybe it was musical education for Michael. So she started bringing out all this Brazilian music that you sort of know, right? I was a kid, I was born in the early 60s, and the stuff that was on the radio or on your parents' stereo at that time was all that sort of easy listening, Stan Getz, Brazilian jazz stuff, right?
Mm.
So she had like a 20 tape VHS collection of Brazil, like the history of Brazilian music. And she started pulling tapes out, and she'd show me these TV shows or interviews with these people. And she played me all kinds of music by Jobim, who to this day, for me, him and Baccarat were those two great writers that wrote songs that will live forever. And they're always in the back of your mind, whether you're 10 or whether you're 100. So she was a person that every day would turn me on to music that I remotely had no idea who the original artist was, right? So it wasn't the usual thing. I knew lots about the Beatles and the Stones and all the other groups that emulated them. And like I was an avid buyer of records at the time. So I would go out on a limb and buy, who's this band Angel? Let's buy that record. Who's this band Stars? Oh, well, they're on Kiss's label. Let's buy them. That's how I bought music back then. But she turned me on to a whole other thing. So that was amazing. And then that grew into, I'm working on this song and she'd play me this song. And then she had this engineer come out and we'd go out to the barn and we just start recording. And a lot of that stuff ended up on the bedroom tapes. And so after that, she wasn't touring, but then she said that she was going to do this radio promo tour and it was just her and I. So it was a lot like the Susanna Hoffs thing where we just climbed into the car and just drove all over the East
Off
Coast.
you went.
I know.
Wow.
So strange.
I have
but
to ask though. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead. When you were traveling around, did you guys you weren't staying in the truck, like in the van, right? You guys stayed in a hotel?
We didn't all stay in the Winnebago. No, we stayed. We all stayed in hotels. We stayed in really like cool old bed and breakfast places, and
cool.
We were going up and down the coast. It was fantastic. And her husband, Jim, was great. He was fun, and we'd have a little wine or something, and on to the next town. That was a fantastic gig.
That's awesome.
Fantastic gig.
Cool.
I'm gonna just quickly jump to our sponsors real fast. First, make sure you guys check out Sweetwater. All right, we have a link below our video and all of our descriptions. You just click on the link. It's a affiliate link. Basically, it brings you right to Sweetwater. You can purchase anything on the Sweetwater site, and it just gives a little kickback to the show. Helps us keep the show going. So we appreciate that. If you can click on for sweetwater.com. But again, click the link below for anything you purchase. And then also there's Thomann.com as well. So check. We also have a link there as well. And then we have Legendary Tones. Make sure you guys check out the hot mods that he does, the Scary mod, the Tim Caswell mod, and the Hot Mod Evo. So check them out. David does
your
great
high
stuff.
gain fun.
Yes, exactly. So we thank Legendary Tones, Sweetwater, and Thomann for sponsoring the show. So yeah, with that, we also have a super chat from Who's Your Rock. This one's for you, Dave. Got to compliment you, Dave. Had to play Free Fallin' the other night, put a capo on, and switch the BE50 from overdrive to clean, and it sounded awesome.
Awesome, man. Glad you liked it.
There you go. Free Fallin' is a good
I've put that capo on before, too. I've done that song.
So, Michael, are you...
so where'd you go next, Michael, in your career?
Oh, yeah, okay. Good.
I think I
I'm enjoying doing the indie vibe production.
I mean, like in the past. So after all this stuff, it moved on to the next chapter in your life.
What is the next chapter? I'm feeling, and I'm really enjoying the feeling of perhaps I'm going to go full circle, because after the 90s were over in the early 2000s, I spent that entire decade playing with Lisa Marie and making music and going on the road. And then I spent a lot of time trying to figure a lot of things out. And I've come back to I was doing a lot of work with Apple, making music with them. And I really enjoyed, that was an amazing gig. We can talk about that later, but God, talk about just get in the studio and do whatever the hell you wanted with like a 3-word description of what you're supposed to be doing is incredible. And then I produced some records, but I sort of feel like I really want to go on the road. Like I want to go soak up some live.
You should.
I want to soak up live music. I always loved playing in front of people. It's a great high, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that there is a point that you do reach burnout on the road. I've been there, and usually that was the time you couldn't wait to get back in the studio. But I've kind of been in the studio for 10 years. I kind of want to get out in front of people and see people's reaction and play with other people at the same time. That's something that I sorely miss, because right now, as you can imagine, I'm creating a track and then I'm sending it to somebody in New York, or I'm sending it to somebody in Hawaii for them to play their part on it. And I've been making music like that for quite a while. Even people in LA, I'm like, okay, you have a studio at your house, right? Will you do the drums there for me? You know, that's the world we're in. So I'm kind of thinking that this is some weird whole circle that I've come to. I wasn't expecting the Aimee Mann thing. It came as like a random call out of nowhere from her manager. So I was like, yeah, can I stand up and play anymore? I don't know. I'm going to have to figure that out. I'm so used to sitting down and playing. Also, will I be able to do the pedal dance? You know? But I'm game for that. I'm very focused right now. Dave knows.
Yeah, well, that's
very
awesome.
focused. You're not drinking. You're doing.
I know there's no, and I have to ask, what tequila are you drinking?
You know what? Unfortunately, I didn't have anything great here, and someone had given me something, so I was drinking that.
Okay, we're not going to stay with
how did
that
you know
in.
it was tequila?
Come on. The color, the glass, the rosy.
It's funny. Before I really became into tequila, right? Before I really understood what I was doing, you just went on how it tasted, just like, hey, this is nice, And if you're coming from a background with not great tequilas ever, it's like, wow, anything that tastes remotely better than what was the rock gut horrible stuff that that you shouldn't even mop your floors with. You're like, okay, cool. So someone had given me, of course, I'm not going to say who or what, but someone had given me, a bottle of Clase Azul tequila, which it's not pure. It's not.
I get
my favorite, but it's drinkable.
It used to be your favorite. It used to be your favorite.
It used to be my favorite until I understood more about tequila, and then I went way past that.
No, I know. I went down that same path as you. I mean,
you go up. You go, oh, okay, there we go.
Yeah,
I get it.
You might have slid down today a little bit, but it's okay.
I slid down a little bit today, but that's just because it's sitting here. It's sitting here, and it was the choice of that, or maybe I did have a bottle of scotch here. I could have done that, but that's
a little rough.
Heartburn.
Didn't that get you in trouble with Jake?
Yeah. I haven't been drinking a lot of scotch in recent years, so yes. But if you do go to dinner at the place I suggested with me,
yes,
they are very tequila centric. So take a car.
That sounds like an Uber ride to dinner.
I think that's a good idea.
And I think it happens out. I told Dave that I've become laser focused and I don't want any distractions. And that also means that I can't sip a tequila. And I do like to, and I have with Dave before. And I've been on the the journey that he's talking about. Like as a young adult, when you drink tequila, you're like, no fucking way am I ever going to drink that again, because there was a worm at the end of the bottle. The whole thing was a horrible experience, right?
I've been there. Yeah.
And everyone misbehaved badly when they drank those kinds of things. Now tequila is very popular, and there are amazing choices to drink responsibly and have a sipper, and there's such great stuff out there. I love it, but like right now, all I want to do is play guitar, try to get back halfway to where I was in 2002, as far as like agility. We'll see. At 65, we'll see how long I last on the road. But I'm feeling good, and
hey, Geddy Lee's out there doing it. Come on, you're a youngster compared to him.
And I heard that he's killing it. And also, Aimee told me he is. She said, "I've never seen anybody. I guess strike is the right word. Like he digs in so deeply." She said it just was mind blowing how he was like at one with the bass. She was really blown away by.
Oh, he's playing the bass like he wants to kill it.
Yeah, that's what she said.
So he wants to beat it to death.
I know. She's going crazy.
Yeah. And
what a good
and really good. I was like,
he's
away,
amazing.
Actually, when I paid attention.
And what a great collection he has of basses.
Yeah. So
yeah,
and we're back to Rush again.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Mark's about that. Mark's like, let's talk about Working Man and the first record. Let's talk about I have your number, Mark. I know who you are.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll talk about the second album when Neil joined. We'll do it all. Yeah.
See, there you go.
There we go.
What was the second album? Fly By Night, wasn't it, Mark?
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go. Funny
stuff. Well, I'm sure, Michael, I was going to say you could do it. You'll be all right on tour.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You'll blow the rust off. You'll be fine.
I know. I'm hoping that happens during rehearsal at some point.
The rust falling off?
Yeah. You didn't say dust. You said rust, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for you to open up the other live streaming Tequila Talk.
Oh, yeah, Tequila Talk. Well, you'll have to do that with me.
Okay, but maybe we shouldn't record
it. That's funny.
Tequila Talk, yes. There are, there's a lot of tequilas, but to be honest, there's not that many great tequilas.
There's quite a few.
There's quite a few that are good, but
also depends on what you like, right?
What's quite a few? Are you talking 10?
I'm talking 10 to 15. Yeah. Yeah, great ones. I think there's 10. Okay, a dozen. Great ones,
Casamigos.
In my current
Brian, I hate to tell you this. You need to do some more research.
Can I say something to Brian here?
Yeah.
Brian,
yeah.
I feel you. I've been down Casamigos Lane. And the first time I had it, I went, damn, this tastes great. It's amazing. It's not wildly expensive. It's really good. And then I have a friend who lives up in Santa Barbara. He and his wife have a restaurant, and he's a tequila drinker. And when he saw me drinking Casamigos, he got very, very upset. And he goes, "You're drinking sugar water. What are you doing? That's ridiculous. That is not good for you." And he's the one that finally, after he made fun of me for a very long time, he finally got me to try things that are more organic, and I'm like, okay. But Brian, I feel you. Casamigos, it does the trick.
I haven't tried it.
But when you compare it, mezcal, here we go. It's tequila talk now.
I love it.
When you compare Casamigos to something even remotely better, I mean, not okay. For instance, I did this one. I was in New York a few years ago, and we were at our hotel bar at the Roxy Hotel, which is a great fucking place. Anyway, in New York, yes, there is tequila bars and different things that you can get better stuff, but at our bar, there was you only had so many choices, right? If you were going to drink tequila. So they had Casamigos, right? And they had which I didn't want to drink, and then they had Siete Leguas, which is okay, better. It's all organic. If you compared those two tequilas back to back in two different glasses, immediately what was known was, yes, the Casamigos, sure, okay, yeah, it's kind of easy, it's smooth, it's whatever, it's easy to drink. But it is like a flat piece of paper. That's how I describe it. It's a flat piece of paper. It has no body. It has no depth to it. It has no three-dimensional quality to it.
Fair. Yeah, I think that's fair. It's not three-dimensional at all.
You taste it. It was like, okay, that's smooth, and it's gone. Now, good tequila, you taste it. You're like, ooh, that's good. But then wait. Then it blooms sort of in your mouth.
Right.
And then you have, ooh, listen to that sweetness at the back there after a few minutes. And 15 minutes later, you're still tasting that one sip you had. You know, it still has these and you're getting different ideas as it wears off, or however you want to call it. You get different flavor profiles, different feelings to it, and it's very interesting when you compared even those two. And believe me, the Siete Leguas is just at least it's organic, and it's no additives, but it's only a little bit above. It's not that expensive, but it's considerably better than anything else,
Right. I don't even know that one.
Yeah, it's not terrible. If that's the only thing they have, for sure, that is the choice compared to any commercial other brand, that you would never even. Let's not even talk. I mean, Cuervo is out of the picture entirely. Everything's out. All that.
Oh, that's
other stuff is gone. It's not even in. Once you start drinking this stuff, you're like, oh God, I can't.
I know. But
when I was in college. Oh, go ahead, Michael.
No, you go ahead.
I was just going to say Monte Alban mezcal. That's what I had when I was in college.
I don't even see. I'm not real. I haven't gotten deeply into mezcal. I don't. In what I have tried, I'm more of a fan with a mezcal with a mixed drink than I am drinking it straight.
It is a great mixed drink.
Yeah, it adds a smoky beautifulness to something that's cool.
I've tried a couple handfuls of mezcal, and I don't know enough. It's much easier for me to figure out tequila than mezcal. I don't know why. Mezcal is really complex, and the smoke can sometimes overwhelm everything about it. But I have tried some, and I've tried sipping some with like a slice of orange. I went to some restaurant once, and that's how they delivered it, and it was delicious. It was
I could see how it would work with the orange.
Yeah, it really just like a little bite of the orange in that, and it was just like you said, it bloomed. It's like, I know there's a whole world of mezcal too, and I know it's popular in a lot of upscale restaurants these days, or the mezcal cocktails. My wife likes a mezcal cocktail as well.
That's cool.
It is tequila talk.
It's tequila talk, exactly.
Yeah, well
let's bring it round back to music. I see you have a lot of gear there. Is it mostly vintage gear, or are you like a vintage gear guy, or?
Dave, stop.
You're sort of more of a vintage gear guy than anything.
I'm a more vintage gear guy. These days, a lot of new gear easily attracts my attention because it's more vintage centric, if that makes sense. But, from the 80s, all through the 90s and 2000s, it was almost all vintage stuff, except for when I started doing Gretsch endorsements. Then I used a lot of new Gretsch guitars. But it's super vintage vibe, right? I have a lot of vintage amps. I have a shit ton of pedals that over the years Dave has organized and made them all work and put them in some sort of place where I can stomp on them. I think that Dave has made every pedal board I've ever had there was a moment when I went to a rack.
Pedal rack, yeah.
I was feeling pretty modern at that moment. I even had,
Hey,
I
it was
think
cool.
it was a great rack, and it was all MIDI controlled. But I was talking to Dave the other day. I used to have a notebook about this thick. And after every rehearsal with an artist, I'd be on the floor cross-legged with my thing, and I'd be writing down all the settings of every MIDI configuration. And I had a MIDI backup disc thing in the rack. It was crazy. And it was all amazing until one night right before we played, the whole thing took a dump.
Oh shit.
The guitar tech at the time, God bless him, he was freaking out. And I said, okay, well, we have backup. Just got to load the backup. He goes, how do you load the backup? Like, maybe it's in the book. Maybe it's in that book. I'm not sure. But he was able to load it, and he got like half of everything working. So we got through it. But that was the only one time out of a zillion times I ever had any problems with any of my gear. And Dave's worked on countless vintage amps for me, and probably countless more in the future. But I have a lot of Somers. I have a few AC30s. I have too many Supros. Dave will tell you that. And guitar-wise, the Epi is vintage. There's a handful of vintage guitars. I have a 64 Strat that I love. It's refinished and beat to hell. There's a 64 P bass over there, same story. I'm not into buying the collectible pieces. One, I don't think that I can go there anymore. It's just wildly, it's so expensive. Yeah. But I love guitar. If you find a guitar that's beat up, you know why? It's a good guitar. It's
absolutely
really paid its dues, right?
If it looks like a drug behind a truck, you want it.
That's exactly right. And it's going to sound great. It's broken in for sure. So I have a lot of that. I have a handful of some vintage pedals. I, like a lot of other guitar geeks, have a Klon on my pedal board. And then I have the second generation Klon, and I have every clone of a Klon.
Wait, we'll talk about the Klon for a minute. We have to love this. We have to love this. So Michael recently brought his pedal board in to get kind of refurbished twice for the Aimee Mann gig. And he had a real Klon on it, and the original Klons have a particular like an 1/8 inch jack on it, and they're a little problematic at times. You have ideally to make them work, you really have to have a Switchcraft 1/8 inch jack that mates with it perfectly. And evidently the original Klons actually used to come with a little 1/8 inch Switchcraft jack that they would give you with it. And
I don't be upset right now, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but inside the box of the Klon is that very thing that you're doing.
Yeah, there we go. And because it mates well with it, and he brings the board in, and it's just like, this isn't mating very well, this isn't working very well, and he's just like, you know what, just put a power jack on it. put a regular like Boss style power jack on it. And we're like, so you want to drill the Klon out? I'm like, okay.
And what was my response? It was made.
And we went back and forth a little times, and he's like, you know what? I'm never going to get rid of this. So, yeah, do it.
But it also has to be bulletproof, right? For live, it's got to work. It's got to do it. I was there yesterday.
Fine.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. I love this idea. It's like a $5,000 pedal we drilled a hole in.
Yeah. Well, luckily I didn't pay that for it, but I know that's what they go for. They go between $5,000 and
$10,000. They go for an insane amount of money. It's like insane.
Yeah, I know. I'm the first
That's
one.
ridiculous. Yeah.
It is ridiculous.
I'm happy for him. He was I haven't spoken to him in years, but in the 90s when I caught wind of the Klon, I don't know, I might have seen somebody with one on the road or something, but I went, yeah, I think that's what I need. And I remember calling him and asking him, how long was the wait, because there was a wait. I think it was 96 or something, about that time period. And I had his phone number, so I called him, right? Blah, blah, blah. And so he said, yeah. I said, I'm going on the road. I thought maybe if I said it was with so-and-so, that would help. It didn't help. But he got me one as soon as he could. And as soon as I plugged it in, it changed my life. So I believe in the hype. It's an amazing clean boost. It's great to stack stuff with. It's super musical. And I know how it gives and takes with all the other pedals, and I've done it for so many years that I kind of can't live without it. And so when we go on the road, I don't want to show up and spend 10 minutes at sound check, right, jiggling that little weird connection that doesn't mate well. It's like too small for the thing, and I don't want it to go out during the thing. So yeah, I'm like, yeah, let's drill it, and let's put a Bigsby on that, because that needs to have a Bigsby. I'm down for the altar.
Nice.
I love it.
Yeah, I love it. Me too.
Loved it.
This is a good question. Since you do have a clone, you have a couple real clones. What's your favorite clone of the clone?
Okay, so I did try most of the ones that I know about that became really popular, right? The first one I tried was the J Rocket,
Right.
which I sat and A-B'd that fucker back and forth for 2 days. And I will say it's a great, great pedal. It's really good. It did a great job of emulating the sound. And I did it with my real clone. I tried is it called the Soul Bender? Is that right? The Electro Harmonics one?
Yeah.
And then I read about some mod. So of course I had to get the fucking mod done too by some other company. I got that. I A-B'd that. It hung in there too. I mean, every clone I have tried, all have done a great job of emulating that sound to me. The Warm Audio one, I had that one. I might have even tried the Behringer, and I know that there's 50 other ones, but I think those are the ones that I can remember. I think they all did a great job. My best recollection is that at the time, the J Rocket sat really well in my mind. Now, I don't know if I'd still feel that way.
It's probably the best.
It's tiny, it's noisy, and it knows how to rock. It has a great fucking rock guitar thing that it does. I really like it. It's cute. I also heard a rumor, and this may not be true, but I heard originally that Bill was working with those guys to do the new clone of the time, because he made his Centaurs for a long time and then he stopped, and apparently the first people he went to were the J Rocket people. I don't know, have you guys heard?
I don't know if that's true or not, although I know the J Rocket people pretty well. I can ask them, but I don't know if that's true.
I'm curious, because to me their clone is the best clone out there. And then I bought the KTR, which was Bill's
Right.
I guess not a clone, but the next version of the clone. And I think it's super great. I have it on. I have what I call Little Tokyo, this tiny little board with a zillion pedals all stacked on it. And that used to be my travel board. So it has this baby KTR on it. I think it's really great. And I recently A-B'd it to the old clone. And I'm going to say the old clone kicked its butt. Even though it's really great, I could not get it. I couldn't get it to be like that sliver of the musical thing that the clone has. It's a really musical overdrive, right? It's got really beautiful dynamics in it. And I thought that it was really good. It just didn't have quite the same sparkle. But, add a little more trouble. There you go. So my favorite is Rocket, to the brother that wrote.
That's cool. And the electro harmonics one is, I think it was the Soul Food.
Soul Food. That's it. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Fact check.
I've not. Fact check.
True or not true?
That was a great question, Richard. Yeah, I like that. The J Rocket, they make great stuff. They make really great stuff.
In fact, they make, Dave, don't they make the? Yeah, they do.
The compressor, right? Didn't you have the compressor?
Yeah.
Air child.
I have one of those on each of my board also. Like when I love something, I really would love to have a duplicate. And J-Rocket stuff is affordable. It's really well made. I've never had anything ever go wrong with any of their pedals. And you just put a J-Rocket on my bigger board. And it's my always on pedal. We put it in front. And it's funny, I was fucking around with it today working on stuff. I'm like, God, my guitar's really dark today. And yeah, because I had kicked the pedal, the air child, and turned the tone all the way off. So I was like, yeah, that would be why it's so dark. Yeah. I'm
with it's sometimes the obvious things that
I know. You would think.
Isn't that funny? You think it's your ear for a second. You're like, what's going on? Oh, okay. Now I know. Yeah. That's great. What's like some of your favorite go-to amps, just out of curiosity?
My favorites are I like old vintage Supros. I got turned on to that in the 80s because I was such a Jimmy Page fanatic. And then once I heard that was part, I guess back then, because there wasn't really the internet and, there was, but anyway, in the early 80s, I didn't have access to anything other than word of mouth or rock magazines or the stray interview and Guitar Player or whatever. So I was on the road with this band and we were going, West Coast, Midwest, whatever. And you go into these old music stores. I found 2 or 3 old tiny Supros, like one with an 8, one with a 10. Eventually I found the Mac Daddy with 2 12s and I was like, wow. And I found out they're so easy to record with. I had struggled in the 80s, really struggled recording. I had a 50-watt Marshall and I had some orange cabinets. And I think I had a Marshall cabinet probably from the 70s. And I hardly had any pedals. I think I had a color sound, not the tone bender, but the power booster or something. That was kind of all I had. So it was a lot of work. It was a lot of moving the mic around, which compressor the engineer was using, some room mics, how much overdrive, and chorus was quite popular. So I was experimenting, but I usually used a JAC 120 for that. So those were my starter amps in playing professionally. And then when I discovered the Supros, I'm like, wow, you can stick any mic in front of it. It sounds like God. These are amazing amps, right? And I'm a big fan of the new line. They're built like tanks. They sound like Supros. Great. I'm having some trouble lately with 2 amps that I have, but anyway, I'll figure that out. My other go-to amps, I really got sucked into the Selmer thing. Their twin was like the Crocodile one. They're 30 watts. And they had the little blinking tremolo eye in the center.
Oh, that's cool.
Guitar pieces. They're so great. I have one. You can't see it. It's back down there. But I also have their mid-60s ones, and they're all push-button EQs on one channel. The other channel is just a really simple EQ and a volume. Those the Beatles used on Sgt. Pepper's, because I've seen pictures in the studio with them, monkeying with them, like a telly and that.
Switches are nightmares.
I know, because none of them work for anything.
They get dirty and shitty over time, and they get corroded, and you got to clean them, and it's just they got to hit them 5 times to make them work.
I know. And then, the problem is here I have there's one. I think there's 3 of them here, and if I don't use them that often when I'm recording. I usually use what I left off with. Right. I usually start there, and so I once in a while I'm like, okay, make the effort, tear everything apart and put them up. Half the time the buttons don't work because they've been sitting for a few months, right?
Yeah.
Like this, and you got the deoxide out.
I got it working.
Wait, it's there. Quick. It's there. Okay, good. Yeah. So I'm a big fan of the Selmer. I'm a big fan of old AC30s. There was a period that I kind of liked the reissues, but that was in the 90s, and I don't know. I think Korg might have just started that. I don't remember.
Yeah, that was the ones. Those were okay. I mean, they had
those ones I thought were okay. I used to take 4 of those on the road with Fiona because I played in stereo then, and I'm like, okay, well, every week there is, because they're getting tossed about, right? So I had 4 of those out, but I have a couple old ones still. There's tons, obviously, of amazing new boutique makers. I guess Dave's not really a boutique anymore. He's the mainstream, right? So Dave makes incredible amps. They're bulletproof. I wore out my welcome and borrowed a Dirty Taco for a couple years.
Dirty Shirley.
Dirty Shirley, that's it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, I never
I
saw
like the
that.
Dirty Taco though. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Dirty Taco. Well, that's a whole different amp that I haven't made yet.
Yeah.
But now that I'm drinking, let me think about that. No. Yeah, and you know, I can be down with a Fender amp. It depends. I do like I have a 69 Silverface Deluxe that I love, that like it sounds so special, and every time I do like a clean thing with a Strat or something, that sounds incredible. So I do love that. And I obviously love the Tweed series stuff. I don't have any of it now, but I have had, I think my first vintage amp ever was a Tweed Deluxe. I had 2 of them because I heard that's what Mick Ralphs used. So I was, I was probably it was probably 1976, 77, jamming with friends in garages. And I had 2 Tweed Deluxes and a Les Paul Jr. That was my rig.
Yeah, I have. That's what I have over here, a Tweed Deluxe.
Oh,
but
yeah.
It's not vintage. It's a reissue.
Because today I had a panic moment when I couldn't get my Supros working and they're acting weird. So I am thinking about renting something for backline. And so first I chat GPT'd it. I didn't call anybody that would know. I actually asked the AI because I'm sure he's going to tell me the right answer, right? Not true. So I just said, what are some of the more popular backline small 112 combo amps that are out there? And Fender came up, the Princeton came up. And then I started thinking, well, I love a Deluxe. I wonder how the reissues are. So you tell me, how are the Tweed Deluxe reissues? And do they have extra monkey business with gain stages, or are they just sort of a straight up reissue?
It's just a straight up reissue. And I think it's hand wired, and I mean, I should say hand wired. I mean, it's not turret board. I mean, it's not a PCB. So it's nice. I think they do it well. It comes with a nice speaker, although I changed the speaker out. I think it sounds really good, and you can get really nice, some good overdrive on it.
And my favorite place on an amp is just before the edge of breakup. So if you lay in with your right hand, you can get it to, Dave called it barking the other day. That's exactly what it is. It's like clean with just a little color. And then if you lay into it, you get the dynamic. It compresses a little bit, right? And you just get you get a dog barking there. So do you think that amp does that? And also, what speaker did you change it to?
So the speaker, I put in a greenback.
Okay.
And I think it breaks up a little bit too soon now.
Too soon. Okay.
Yeah, but
what amp are we talking about?
His Tweed Deluxe.
Tweed Deluxe that I have.
Oh yeah,
Tweed Deluxe. But to answer your question, yeah, I think it does the edge of breakup thing really well. Actually, it sounds really great. It's a really good amp. I mean, I'm plugging in a Tele into it or a Strat. It just sounds great. So yeah, I love it. It's like one of those amps I probably won't. Humbuckers, yeah, it starts to get a little flubby.
That's typical for a Tweed.
Yeah, because when I go out in July, I'm going to bring the Epiphone, Sheraton. I'm going to bring, because she is a capo queen, Aimee, and so there's capos everywhere, which is fine. But I have found that I was an asshole, and when we recorded those guitar parts, I tuned differently for a lot of those songs. So I really screwed myself. I'm kicking myself these days, like dissecting the parts. I'm like, how the fuck can you play that in, A440? Well, you can't. So I'm now going to bring 3 guitars with me, one tuned down a half step, one tuned up, and one of them is a Les Paul. So I am like, I got a 330 with P90s. The Epiphone has mini humbuckers, and the Les Paul. So every time I put the Les Paul in, even on the Supros, it's a little like, whoa, it's too much. So
Yeah.
trying to figure out.
What's that, Dave?
Barkier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bark
just
more.
A little swampy.
a little bit more bottom end. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a question for you from Paul Crane.
I'm getting blown out by my window.
Oh, yeah. The sun.
Okay.
Paul Crane says, does Michael still have the cherry Sheridan? I've never seen a 60s Sheridan before. If you wouldn't mind showing it, what is it that he likes particularly about those old Sheridans versus the 335?
Okay, maybe I'll answer the second part of that question first. So the thing that it was an accident, the Sheraton. I played one and it was so amazing. Then I plugged it into an old AC30 and I was blown away. Talk about chime, but also there's an interesting thing that happens with a mini humbucker. It does have a lot of the stuff that a humbucker has, minus all that low end, right? Even in the neck pickup, it's there, but it never gets flubby. And it kind of likes every amp I have. So it was once I discovered it, it became my everything. And then the Cherry Sheraton that you're talking about is actually the one that Brendan O'Brien, got me as a thank you for the Stone Temple Pilots hookup. And that Sheraton was different than any other Sheraton I ever had. It had way more growl and bark, and it was near mint when I got it. It had the regular trapezoid bridge tail pieces, which I instantly took off and put a Bigsby on. Instantly, right? I just screwed that B7 right on there. But we used to do in Fiona's band, when Matt Chamberlain was playing with us, we would do Zeppelin songs for sound check every day before Fiona would come in. So that Sheraton, a couple of AC30s and Cashmere and all the physical graffiti stuff sounded incredible. I'll never forget how great that sounded. But that guitar is super special. Unfortunately, I don't have that guitar anymore. And that story is longer than this podcast. And it's a shame. But I have one now. I'm happy to be back in the fold. It's out there somewhere. You can go try to find it.
That's too bad you don't have that anymore.
That's an amazing story about hooking up Brendan O'Brien with Stone Temple Pilots.
I love that happened. It was just like, and it was all for the fact that I'm like, yeah, that's the right match. He's a guitar guy. You guys are a guitar band. He's a great guitar player. Like it's, but that's the kind of shit that happens in in our town, right? It's like, oh, I went and got a garden burger at the place on Sunset, and I was sitting next to Robin Zander, and he was looking for it's like those are the kind of stories that happen all the time out here, right? So
the famous story with Ed Van Halen and going to the car, going to get his car worked on, and his mechanic said he was looking for a singer, and the mechanic says, "Oh, I know you're looking for a singer. The Sammy Hagar's car is right here. Why don't you give him a call?"
Yeah. Let's give him a quick call.
Give him a quick call.
And he's like, all right, I'll call him right now.
when you worked at Guitars R Us with Albert, didn't you say Tracy Guns used to come in?
Yeah, Tracy used to come in. There's a lovely lad, right? He's amazing.
Yeah,
Tracy.
He's
now. I think that Tracy. I kind of want to dub him the mayor of Hollywood. Like I think he's that guy, right?
He knows everyone.
He knows everyone. He's full of peace and love, right?
Yeah.
He's a lovely guy. I was telling Dave the other day, because he's like, do you know Tracy? And because Tracy had just been in, and I've seen posts with him and Dave lately. And Tracy's now an amp builder because he has so much time.
Yeah, he loves to do it.
I know. He's a busy dude. But there was a time where I went through a really rough patch in my life, and not a lot of people were talking to me. Boy, Tracy was right there in the beginning, DMing me, Hey, if you need anything, let me know. Hey, if you don't have that pedal, whatever, I might have one you could borrow. He's that guy. He is an incredible guy, and he invited my now wife and I to go see him play at the Whiskey for a New Year's Eve thing. It was a great night.
Did you go?
We went. We had a
Yeah.
hell of a night. I didn't see Tracy, but I had a great night. We might have done a little drinking before, a little drinking during, and a little drinking after, and then took a cab home. So, yeah, I've known him a long time. I mean, the 80s thing in LA was really interesting because there was this new metal thing that was happening that was glammy. So there was a goth thing, a glam thing, there was full on rock thing. And all of us played the same, and even the punk stuff, we all played on the same bill. It was so bizarre. Like, it was not a problem. People came, they're like, okay, we're coming at 9:00 to see Spit and Teeth, this punk band from somewhere. Okay, we're going to go see Lines and Ghosts because we started out kind of gothy, and then we started venturing into this T-Rex world, and then it became more rock, and then we kind of went Americana. We were all over the place, but we played with tons of shows with LA Guns. We opened for Guns N' Roses several times. We opened for them the night they played the Roxy and got signed to Geffen. I mean, those were the shows that were happening at that time, and everybody was in it, and Tracy was in it. I mean, I always forget that Tracy was in Guns N' Roses because he's the gun boy, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I mean, it's just there was so many bands and everybody was interchanging at that time. And I remember Tracy always being an amazing dude. He used to come into the shop. I mean, all CC DeVille, like all the CC. I think CC is one of the guys that painted the inside of Guitars R Us because Howie Huberman, who was Albert's partner at that time, was helping them or maybe managing them or whatever. I mean, all these guys all came in and out of that place all the time. That was an incredible store with what a selection of crazy.
It was a great store. I remember when I first moved here. Yeah.
It was a mecca. There's a lot of good stores. That's my favorite. It's my favorite. The funny thing is that when I played in Lines and Ghosts, we weren't touring, and I lived down the street. I didn't have a job, right? I played in my band. And then, so I'd walk up to Sunset every morning and get a coffee at the Sunset Grill. And then I'd walk into every guitar store every morning, Monday through Friday. And I'd go in, look at guitars, I'd sit down. I started chatting with Albert and Howie. And I think after about 3 weeks or so, Albert goes, do you want a job? Because you're here every day. I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. So I started working there. And then when I had to go on tour or whatever, they were like, oh, it's cool. Okay, good. I mean, it was a perfect job. Like, if you had a gig, go do the gig. And Albert has helped me immensely, like Dave has, in always helping me get the right things or fix the right things or find something. Albert was like, you're going in the studio, you need a Leslie, let's call my friend at SIR. Like, it was that kind of help flow. And we're still really good friends. And I don't see him often.
He helped you through some rough times too.
I know. I lived with him for a while, so that was amazing. I was his roommate for a lot longer than he had bargained for. But yeah, really great guy. He still is dealing vintage guitars too.
Yeah, privately.
Yeah, but great time period. And yeah, I'm happy to say that I know Tracy. I think he's an amazing guy. And there's so many people from that era that have really hung in there. I mean, look, Tracy's always touring. It seems like he makes a record every year. He's hand building amps, right? He's making pedals now.
Yeah, he loves it.
Gosh, I wish I could do. I told you I can't solder, so unless they have some sort of push button amp that I can make, right? Then I could do that.
You can learn to solder.
Yeah, every year in the summer he goes on tour and goes out for 2-3 months, and boom.
There was a period that I was working for Dave. I don't know if you know that, Mark.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he at some point he helped me out, and I was in a position where I needed to be busy. I needed to be busy more than anything. But yeah, he. I was going down to. Is it? It's okay to talk about this, right,
Yeah,
Dave?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I went down to the old building where Boutique Amps is, right? And Dave had. I called it the lab. I don't know what the hell it was, but it was a white room and Dave was in there and he had his station. And then um, I forgotten his name, the guy that moved
Peter?
to Nashville. No, I remember
No.
Peter worked for Synergy, and that's who
Yeah.
I was helping. And then the guy that, not Tone King, but the guy that moved to
Oh,
Nashville.
Joe Morgan.
Joe Morgan. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, Joe. So yeah, so that was their laboratory, right? I don't know what the hell. It was the strangest thing. But my job was to plug in the Synergy modules, go through and make sure they all worked, which means I got to play Aerosmith licks and all kinds of great sort of guitar licks from my future. I mean, from my past, all through these things. And I worked there for a little bit, for a while, until they realized I was making too much money. So I had to go. But I think because it was at a point where I needed to get out of my head and just stop being in all the crap that was going on in my life. And that was super helpful. So I've worked for you and I've worked for Albert.
Well, that's cool.
But I
Nice.
didn't move in with Dave, though.
No, you didn't move in with me. You were living with Albert.
Well, that's cool. That's a cool story. What was I going to say? Totally
So
lost my
talk about
train
your
of thought.
Apple Music thing.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is, I'm gonna, oh boy, I can't get away from it. It's killer right now. So years ago, right after Lost in Space had come out, I got an email from this guy named Zach Smith, and Zach is the original guitar player and songwriter from Scandal. And he wrote me an email, I guess through my website or something, because I don't I don't even know if there was social media then. I guess there probably was. Anyway, he wrote me this lovely email about how much he loved Lost in Space and what it did for him as a guitar player. So it was really nice. And we started.
Wait, backtrack a minute. What did you do with Lost in Space?
Lost in Space is an Aimee Mann record, and I produced that.
Oh, okay.
record.
Got it.
And I played guitars and keyboards.
Yeah.
I played way too much shit on there. Anyway, he loved the tone of that record. And that was on the heels of the Ben Taylor thing. So I was still really into, like, I don't really want it to sound like a guitar, right? That was the period I was going through. So he and I started conversing back and forth via email. And I think that he was writing a lot of jingles and stuff, and he lived up in the Bay Area. And at some point he started sending me some jingles to do. So he would just say, yeah, I'm doing this thing for Honda or Texas Instruments or whatever. And so I had a home studio. That was the first time I had one, just to put it together. And I also had 1,000 questions about Pro Tools and everything else, right? And he was well versed in all those things. So I started working with him and doing all that stuff. And at some point he told me, he was his own boss. And he wrote me and he said, he goes, I'm thinking about taking a job at Apple. He goes, what do you think about that? I'm like, well, what a great company. I mean, I love that company. I'm a complete Mac head, right? I love all the gadgets and everything, the software that they create. And so he walked me through his experience trying to get a job at Apple, and it was very intense, and took a very long time with a lot of meetings, including having meetings with Steve Jobs back then, right? So It was really interesting to hear all this from him, from his standpoint. So he got a job there. I don't know what that original job was, but at one point he became a director of music, and I believe it was and I might be wrong on some of this, but I think he was like the internal music director or something, right? What music that is created for inside the box. So years go by, and he asked me, I think he said that they needed like a 10-second theme sound for iTunes opening or something crazy. Anyway, so I did a bunch of stuff on guitar, like, maybe a slide thing that goes into a big chord at the end. And I just made these snippets for him. And I didn't get it, but he started then sending me things. And later these things ended up becoming memories on your iPhone. So I started creating 1-minute songs that when you go on your iPhone, it will present to you a memory and you can choose which music will go to it. And so I started creating some of that music. And in the early days, it used to have my name, Michael Lockwood. So I'd create like this ukulele thing and blah, blah, blah. And then you can pick it and it would say the artist was me. And then later I changed and I was doing a lot of it with Patrick Warren, the keyboard player that played with Fiona and Aimee and does a lot of work with T-Bone, and he's doing a lot of scoring and soundtracks now. Anyway, Patrick and I were a team, and we would just I'd come up with a melody, I'd play it, I'd send it to him, he'd put strings on it, and then I'd create like this drum thing or whatever. So we made, hundreds of these little 1-minute songs. And we gave that one a name, like the Honeymoon Orchestra or something. But basically I would get an email from this guy that works at Apple, and he goes, okay, well, we need a happy cat song. We need a happy dog. Everything was happy, but it was like 3 words. Or I need something that sounds like music being played on a porch. That's it. That's the description you got. And then I would make like 4 or 5 or 10 of these things. And they would say, we'll take A, B, C, and D. And it used to be when we first started doing this, we'd go to Sunset Sound and bring a bunch of musicians in, and we'd just sit there and play this 1-minute song down. And we were lucky enough to have Joe Ciccarelli engineer and mix it. And then it would be sent out to master. After a while, they got really super wise to how expensive that was. And it was like, no, you can do it at home and you mix it and you master it. But I did that for years and all of it's still out there. Zach retired from there, so I haven't been doing any stuff for them this last year, but for years I was doing it. And it was one of the coolest, strangest gigs because I worked by myself in my studio, and now I've gotten used to that. It's a little strange to go out and play music with people, but I'll be excited to do it.
That's a cool gig.
Yeah, that's fun.
Cool gig. Yeah, and I think now he was saying to me, like, there's an office in London where these kids are sitting in there just like cranking it out now, right? Because a kid on an iPad can do way more than I can do with all this gear that's in front of me.
And that's sad.
Yeah, it's the times. I embrace it. It's for my kids. It's my daughter. She's taking vocal lessons, and the other day a bunch of packages showed up, and I'm like, well, I didn't order any pedals. I didn't order anything. This is for my daughter. Okay, and I said, what are all these packages? Like, what are you buying? Because they all said Sweetwater.
Sweetwater.
I'm like, okay, what did you get from Sweetwater? Well, my vocal coach said that she's a great songwriter. She is an amazing wordsmith, and she hasn't shown a lot of interest in it lately. She was showing a lot of interest in it a few years ago. And he said that I need to start putting down these ideas. And I said, when you say putting down, what are you talking about? She goes, recording them. So I bought a mic and I bought like an interface for my thing. And I'm like, hello?
I'm right here.
Goes,
in the other room, there's a whole studio.
The guy that makes all the fucking racket that you can't watch your show because I'm making racket, although it's well insulated. She said, no, I asked Chat GPT what I needed to record the songs. My heart broke. I said, can you not? I said, do you need a microphone? I got a microphone. Do you need an interface? I have an interface. When they were little, when the girls were little, I used to have them record. I still have a bunch of songs of them singing and playing guitar, and I'll spring that on them later. But I'm like, I can help you. I know how to do this. What do you think I do for other people? It's like, yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah. So half the boxes are open, half the boxes are not. I'm like, if you get overwhelmed, let me know.
Well, my answer would always be, first, don't listen to Chat GPT.
I've learned the hard way. I still go there sometimes, but it makes it more difficult. Then I come to someone like you, Dave, and I say, okay, well, I've already tried replacing the power tubes, and chat says that if it's not the switch, then it's this. And I'm sure you're going, fuck off. I know what it is.
Yeah. Well, most people that say that to me wind up chat tells them something that is entirely wrong or leads them down a path that they shouldn't be going down when it's something much easier than they're making it out to be. It's like,
I know.
Oh yeah, just got to clean the switch with some contact cleaner. There you go, done, fixed. And then
not fixed.
Yeah. So
you need to go to a professional. That's what chat should be saying.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Come with
because just repeat. I know that he's getting the information from Reddit or wherever they collect.
Well, yeah, they're getting the information from all the people that are giving the wrong information.
I know.
Right.
Which is the problem.
I know. It's making me crazy because I want some answers to some things and I don't always want to call you or text you or call the guitar guy that works on the guitars and ask this. And, so I'm trying so hard to all I need to do is chat says I need to do this, this, and this. I mean, he can't always be wrong, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say he's wrong most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's good about food temperatures though, because I cook a lot and I'm a vegetarian.
Stuff like that. Yeah, sure, you can get that right.
Really great. Like how what is the internal temperature of prime rib or what? Like because the kids all eat meat, my wife eats meat, I don't. I cook, so I'm not going to taste it, and I don't want to cut into it, and won't be as pretty, right? So I just ask chat and get a thermometer and find out. So yes, good for the cooking, not so good for fixing an amp.
Yeah, it makes sense. We got a question from Paul Crane, or at least a comment. He says, Michael, those old Selmer amps certainly have something about them. Our old rehearsal studio in London had a treble and bass combo, which was fabulous. It sounded rich when it was working.
Yep.
There's the key thing. That's why Dave's giggling. It's when it's working, right?
Yeah.
It's true. I mean, I guess in the day when it was used all the time, it was fine. But yeah, if they sit or they're abused, they don't like it. But
anything.
Yeah.
I mean, if you sit for a long time, how hard is it to get up?
It's really hard these days, Dave.
Yes. You're like, yeah, okay.
I can understand. Yeah.
I stood up the other day and I played next to me. I have a melodica and the tube is up here. So live, I play melodica and then I play guitar, right? So I was standing up playing for about 20 minutes. I'm like, uh-oh. This is rough. I need to because the guitar is pulling you over.
Yeah.
So it's true when I've been sitting in this chair making music and not moving. So it's true. It's the same thing. But find a Selmer, buy a Selmer. I think that I saw a treble and bass, right? I saw a treble and bass at Norm's. It's been sitting there forever. It's a push button, mid 60s one. You don't see them that often. I was looking on Reverb to find them. There was a guy in New York that had an old Croc one. That was the only one I saw on there forever. I mean, it might be different this week. It's always a little different, but not a popular.
I bought a trashed Selmer head.
Which one?
I still have to repair. It was treble and bass, I think.
Is it a 50 or a 30?
50.
Yeah, okay.
And it was definitely a mess, but I got it cheap.
What's the story on
It'll
Selmer?
be cool. It would be cool when it's done.
Do we know who built?
Were they built in England? I mean,
yeah.
Is that what? Okay.
I think so. Yes.
Yeah. Could have been Italy. I'm going to say England. Yeah.
I mean, that's the only time I just know them from the Beatles Association, seeing pictures of them back in the old, the early days.
Well, that's right. In the Cavern days, they had that big, tall one, right?
Right.
And was it red and white? I think. So was it a Constellation? It was something. I used to have one of those when I went and did the Ben Taylor record. There was a tiny music shop down the street, and they hardly had anything in there. The first day we walked in there, they had 2 vintage greenbacks from the day. Those were 30 quid each, I think. I bought those, and then they had 2 Selmer small ones. I bought them to do the part to work on the record. So they're not that common. I don't see them that often. I don't know. I don't think they're made beyond the 60s. Do you know, Dave?
I don't think so. No.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Rich sounding amp. The tremolo.
I just saw another picture. Do you recall True Voice amps? That's another one.
You mean a Selmer? It's a Selmer True Voice.
Selmer True Voice.
Is that what it is? True Voice. Okay,
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, that's what the picture I have I'm looking at with the Beatles.
Well, they're cool.
That's
It's like kind of an English power section, and to be honest, the preamp, not the push button part, but the other preamps are in architecture are very Fender blackface ish. So
yeah.
it's so that's more into an English power section kind of thing. So
yeah, didn't they do the power section on the bottom and then they leave the preamp section up top almost?
Well, some of them, depending on which ones. Yeah, it's depending. Yeah,
this is such a cool picture. By the way,
I know this is dumb for not to know, but isn't the Marshall based on a Fender
Bassman,
right?
Yeah, a Tweed Bassman. Yeah.
Oh, a Tweed Bassman.
Yeah, okay. Tweed Bassman, not blackface.
Interesting, not the blackface or the brown ones. I love.
No, and the Tweed Bassman is verbatim. Well, that was it was well, technically that circuit came from our RCA tube manual, and then Fender made it, and then Marshall copied it. And so that was the first JTM 45s.
Now everybody copies a Marshall.
And now everyone copies Marshall. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it goes, goes around.
Yeah.
Richard Nagamitsu asks, Michael, have you added any new pedals to your rig?
Let's look and see. Okay. Yes. The 2 newest pedals that I'm really enjoying are, one, I'm enjoying the Strymon Volante. It's their oil can or electrostatic delay type, right? Yeah, like a Benson Echo Rec. I'm enjoying that. It sounds really cool, and you can get it to sound really fucked up. So I love that. It sounds really broken and old. And also, I just got I was trying to figure out many times in my life how not to bring a Leslie on tour. And, I've tried to buy every Leslie pedal that's been out. And, they always seem like they're great at first. And then you plug a Leslie and you go, nope, it doesn't sound like a Leslie at all. So rather than go down that, I wanted to get something that was warbly. So I got the new full tone Deja Vibe. Is it called the Micro?
It's a small version.
It's a small version. I got the blacked out version, so you can't actually read anything on it. But I'm really enjoying the Deja Vibe. I've never been really a vibe pedal player, but I do love the warbliness of it. And I think that's it. Everything else I put back on my pedal board were pedals that I had in the 90s. So I have an original Whammy on there. I have my lovely Comptortion, which still I don't understand why everyone doesn't love that pedal. It's so great.
It is really cool.
Who makes it?
It was Tech 21. It was called Comptortion, which is a strange compressor distortion thing that they made for a while, but it has a thing.
Interesting.
Yeah, okay. It really. When I played with Fiona, I used to use it as my lead bump. Right, I'd have the clone on for the song, and then I would stack it with that thing, and I'd squish it, and it would get squeaky, and it was always on the edge of being out of control. I loved that. So I have that on there, the clone. I have another pedal that I've used for years that I love, and I've used a lot on Aimee's records. It's a big muff, but it's the Japanese Sakova big muff.
Yeah,
So
it's
it's
red.
it's a big red pedal. That one, I don't know what that circuit is. Is it the same big muff circuit? It doesn't
I
sound
don't
like
really, I don't remember. I think it's similar.
I mean, it must be, right? It's three
Yeah.
knob thing. I love that. I have the Big Cheese, the Love Tone Big Cheese, which is another favorite of mine. Nothing sounds more broken. Well, maybe a Fuzz Factory. So those are my two favorite broken fuzzes. But the Big Cheese is on there. And then my favorite tremolo pedal, which Dave turned me on to. And it's made by, or was made by
Tone Freak?
Tone Freaks. Yeah.
Yeah.
You remember his name? I can't. His name's
Derek.
escaping. Derek. Okay.
Yeah.
We were talking on Instagram for a while. Is he making pedals anymore?
Not anymore. No.
No. So I have two of those. That's another. That's my favorite tremolo pedal.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Definitely cool.
And I don't have the Soundtake Echo Machine on my board, but I just got one of those back.
That one's cool.
That was another Dave was like, these are really cool. And I used to have that on my pedal board. I loved that. So I just found one and I got an amazing deal. It was in the box with the instructions. So cheap. So great. That's on. The only other new pedal is a Strobo Stomp. I've moved over to a strobe tuner. I like it. And you can change the color.
Yeah.
See?
The other really cool tuner that I've come across lately, which is super fun, is the Walrus Audio. They make a tuner.
I saw that
you can change the graphics and the picture that comes up on it.
No.
Oh, it's insane. Yeah.
Don't tell me that. I just got the Strobo Stomp. And you know what? I don't have time to come back to the shop and change my pedal board for a third time.
Yeah, you're not going to. Yeah.
We got another question from.
Looks like for me. Nope. Not
Yeah,
that
that's
one.
for you.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey guys, great show as always. Thanks. Just picked up a Jose and have a question about the loop volume on the back of the amp. What exactly and how should I set it when playing?
Well, if you're using the loop, then set the volumes on the front of your amp on the higher side, meaning half-ish. The pre-master volume would be higher if you're using that. And then use if you have a delay or something in the loop, then use that return level as your power amp volume, so to speak. So use it. You can cut it down low. It depends on what volume you want to play.
Okay, cool. Mr. Rob Godek, thanks for the super chat. Speaking of muff, great show, Michael. Why do Lee Jackson mods on 800 sound really fizzy or fuzzy, borderline broken, Dave? Is it a sign of degraded caps? I have owned several that do that.
I'm gonna say that they were just not great mods. Not great mods. And he had several versions of the mods too, but they weren't great. They just weren't great. They weren't anywhere close to what Jose's were at the time in the 80s and stuff. I mean, it wasn't even in the same ballpark.
Yeah, having owned one of those amps, I actually tried all of them. I tried the Metaltronics, but I never tried an actual 800 that was modded by him. But
it's the same stuff. So
yeah. But so Michael, what's next on the list for you? What's besides
Aimee Mann tour?
Aimee Mann tour. What else is up?
Next thing. Right now I'm solely focused on that. I have a bunch of unfinished songs that I've been working on for Bird Streets, and I just sort of dipped my toe into string arrangements. I started doing this about 6 months ago because I love the way that strings interact with rock music and indie music, pop music. I love strings, and I love how they make me feel, and I love what they do to a song. So I started dabbling, and I started doing some research, and I started learning how to do some stuff by taking some online courses. And so I've been introducing that into the productions of some of the new Bird Street songs that I've been working on. And I came to a grinding halt when I said yes to playing with Aimee. Because at first I'm like, well, let me ask everybody if I can leave. Let me see, are the kids going to be okay? They're driving now. It's summertime. Like, is my wife's working? The dog, like, what does everyone think? And everybody's like, get the fuck out. Go on the road, please.
We'll be good.
So, yeah. So once they said that, and then I got a text from Aimee because I hadn't said yes. She goes, "There's no pressure," and I was like, I have pressure on myself to like give you an answer now. I don't want to like wait 3 days to tell you yes or no, because they were like, we need you to play guitar, and we also need you to be the musical director. So it's like, okay, I love both those hats. I'm super rusty at one. So I just stopped. I stopped recording and stopped working on arrangements. And just at first I picked up the guitar, and I'm like, I got a bit of a tremor going, and that's free vibrato. I don't love that. So I'm like just trying to pull everything together and get really focused and get super strong and go, I want to play some great shows with her. I missed playing with her, and this will be fun. We're doing she had the record before the album I produced, Lost in Space. She had a record called Bachelor Number 2. And that record also dovetailed into the Magnolia soundtrack. So it was a lot of material. And what's great is that I played on all of it. So I was like, this'll be easy. How hard could it be? But apparently it's pretty hard to go back and figure out your stuff and make it sound great. So I'm doing that challenge right now. I'm ripping everything apart. I did a stem splitter thing. I sent everybody stems. I made notebooks. I made notes and everything. I'm crazy about all that stuff. So I'm just immersed in that. I'm going to do that. I don't know what I'm going to do right after that. I'll probably have to jump back and finish stuff for some people. But I would like to keep going on the road a little bit. I'm thinking that I'm going to enjoy that.
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Awesome.
I wish you the best with it. I was just looking at the tour dates. It looks like starting in July, like later July, right?
Right. Yeah, we're gonna go out. We're gonna go out and do some rehearsals out that way, and then we'll see what happens. We start with one show, and then we go into a festival. That should be interesting. And then the rest are all theaters after that. So it's a great place to see Aimee as a theater. She's just, it's such a great, because it's an intimate show, lots of great conversation and talking. She's really great like that with an audience. So it'll be good.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Got a question from Seahawk. You guys check out the new Joe Holmes album, Great Jose Tones. I have not. Someone sent me a link to it, and I have not checked it out yet. But I know we're working on getting him on the show.
Yeah, he wants to do it.
Have you heard the new album, Dave?
Yeah, I have it. Right here.
Oh, cool. Nice. Have you listened to it?
Yes, I had to manage to figure out how to load it into my computer, since you don't, you get a CD and you're like,
how am I going to play that
in here? I don't have a burner, and then I go, oh wait, I have a portable one that I can plug in, and like I imported it and stuff. Yeah, it's cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well,
it's nice. It's signed. It's cool.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah.
Well, Michael, it was a pleasure having you on the show, and really awesome to meet you. And thank you so much for taking the time. I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, it was really nice to meet you. And I'm so happy that Dave asked me to do this. I mean, it's fun, and I've been seeing a lot lately. Maybe I can come back at some time, and we can sip tequila, and we can talk about that tequila.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we can do tequila talk.
I'll do it.
Special version of Tone Talk.
Exactly.
I'll do it. I'll be down.
And maybe we should have subtitles.
At some point, we'll have AI.
So as it goes on in the show, those become more important.
Yes.
After we can't talk anymore.
Oh God. Well, thank you both very much. I really had fun doing it. It was good stuff. And Dave, again, thank you for everything you've done for me over a couple decades, 3 decades. I don't know. So long. Thank you. And congratulations.
That's a really long time.
I know.
3 decades?
Oh, yeah, 3 decades. Yeah.
3 decades.
Amazing.
But I'm so happy to see everything that you're doing. It's fucking incredible. Super cool.
Awesome.
Your amps are amazing.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree. Great amps. And again, great to meet you, Michael. And really.
Oh, there we go. Someone goes, yeah, we can get GPT chat to narrate the show.
Exactly.
Oh, please. You know what? That's my daughter. She'll tell you that's exactly what we need to do.
Oh, no.
That's a good idea. That would be fun. Let's think about it, people. That
could be Oh, we got a request. He wants to see my Eddie tattoo.
Is it in a place that you can show us?
I have to pull I do have to pull my pants down, but hang on. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's nice.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the tattoo.
Black and white. I like it.
Yeah, it's killer. I love it.
Hey, with that, I'll leave a question for you guys. What was the first year you saw Van Halen?
Oh, 1984 for me.
Okay. Kid.
I know, right? I'm sure you got a good story on that one. You've been around this town.
That's right.
Well, for me, it was 2007. So I did not see them.
That's the first time?
Yeah, I did not see them back in the day. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw when Dave came back, that's when I went to go see them.
I saw the last of the good stuff.
Yeah. What about you, Michael? Did you see them back in the day?
1976.
Oh my God.
They opened for Sabbath.
Oh, you saw that show.
Wow.
I saw that show. And now if we can do one more minute, I'll give you the backstory.
Yeah, please do.
Okay.
I love it.
My cousin, when I was a kid, we used to go visit them, and she was a little bit older, really cool. Like they would sneak beers and stuff, and she had a bunch of music. And we were sitting outside, and she was playing a bunch of different music, and I heard like some Aerosmith songs and stuff. I'm like, this is cool. It's so great. And she goes, yeah, my boyfriend's in this band. Then they play parties and stuff. I'm like, wow, really good. God damn, I've never heard like a band like that be that good. And she goes, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And she told me the name, and I didn't think twice about it, right? And about a year later, I walked into a little tiny record store in Oildale, which is a tiny city on the other side of Bakersfield. And they had this record store out there. And when they used to have these things called end caps, right? It was the thing at the end of the row of records, and it'd be the new records. Right there, I'm like, motherfucker, that's her boyfriend's band. It was Van Halen.
Oh, wow.
Oh, shit.
And so I went over and I went, fuck, they got an album out. How amazing. Bought the record. I went home. I put the record on. I cried that day because I'm like, there's, when you're young, you want to be like a great guitar player. And when I heard that record, I went, that's never going to happen. Like, there's just no way that's ever going to happen. I mean, what is Eruption, the second cut or something?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That came on, and I swear to God, I probably welled up, and I went, no one plays like that. It was just insane to me. And I remember listening to it over and over and trying to learn those songs. No, I didn't know that you put a finger on the fret. That just didn't make any sense to me at all. But I was so blown away. And after that record came out, then I went and saw them live, and I'm like, wow. But yeah, I was lucky enough and still have the T-shirt from that concert.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's
Great.
cool.
I don't have the ticket stub, but I have the T-shirt. Anyway, Eddie Van Halen, wow. I'm not that type of player, but I listen to him and I'm like, that tone, the choices he makes, wow, otherworldly, otherworldly.
And everything was just the perfect
And
package.
you saw the heyday of the fire and the that was like before all the substances took effect, you know.
I'm gonna think that there was probably some substances. And
Oh,
maybe
I'm not saying there isn't, but when you're young,
it was
substances treat you different than when you're older.
Yeah. True.
At some point in time, it stops working right.
Yeah.
It doesn't work anymore.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so we'll leave on the Van Halen note. Next time we'll talk about Jeff Beck. Brian Setzer.
Oh yes, you got tons of Jeff Beck stories.
I do. I have a bunch of stories. We'll save them for another time. So we'll have something to talk about.
That's a whole other chapter in your life.
Yeah, I know.
We didn't touch on any of that.
No.
Oh, we'll come back.
Some good stuff, Mark. Not often you get lessons from Jeff Beck, and I'll leave it at that. So thank you guys both very much.
Yeah, hang on while we say goodbye. We'll say goodbye offline. Everybody have a fantastic weekend. We will be back not next week, but the week after. I think we've got Ross Hogarth coming.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Producer, and he produced the
engineer.
He was the engineer on the last Van Halen album, right?
He was,
yeah. So
I'm gonna watch that episode.
Cool. Well, yeah. Everybody have a great weekend. We'll be back on the 26th. I think that's the date. And hang on, Michael. Everybody take care. We'll talk soon.
All right. See you.
All right.